Good morning. It is Wednesday. I want to give you a bit of an update on what's happening between Ukraine and Russia, the United States, and how it could relate to Canada. I am going to show you a clip of Melanie Joly in a minute, but first I want to give you some background. Russia used to be a part of the G8, which is now called the G7. They were kicked out in 2014 after Russia annexed Crimea, and Donald Trump in 2019 was actually calling then for Russia to be admitted back into the G7. Obviously, that didn't happen. And then in 2022, they invaded Ukraine and there were strict sanctions placed on Russia. A big part of that was Russian oil was flowing into Europe, and those sanctions essentially kicked Russian oil out of the market largely. And that drove global oil prices up. But in return, the United States started supplying a large amount of oil to Europe. Now, not only has Donald Trump been saying that he would be interested in having Russia back in the G7, he's also been calling to restore economic ties with Russia. And another significant part of this is that JD Vance met with the leader of the AfD in Germany a few days ago. And the AfD party in Germany, who's not elected yet, has been calling also to restore economic ties with Russia and allow Russian oil back into Europe, obviously, specifically Germany. If Russian oil were to make a significant comeback into the European market, you could see global oil prices drop significantly. Probably good for consumers, not good for the Canadian economy, specifically Alberta. And this goes back to Donald Trump's plan to economically force Canada to be the 51st state. This is just a theory of mine. I believe that Donald Trump wants to restore economic ties with Russia specifically for the fact that if oil is flowing into Europe, the United States will be required less to supply oil to Europe, which in turn, they won't require as much oil from Canada because they will be able to meet their domestic needs better. And obviously, the global drop in oil prices would significantly affect the Canadian economy, specifically Alberta. Maybe if there's anybody that's more of an expert in oil, they could touch on this subject about how it could affect the economy. But I believe this has more to do with Donald Trump and America's self-interest more than actually restoring peace between Russia and Ukraine. I think this is essential for Donald Trump to not have to rely on Canadian oil as much going forward and to put some economic force on us. But anyways, here's what Melanie Joly had to say about Russia joining the G7 again.
Can you tell us, did you discuss today readmitting Russia to the G7 as Donald Trump said he wanted to do? Thank you very much.
No, we didn't. And I'm telling the position of Canada, no way this will happen.